It's been since January, I think, since I've actually come on here and started talking. And that's because I was just over it. I got more bad news with my fertility, which I will talk about soon. I was just in such a dark place that I decided to just put a pause on this and do things to make myself feel freaking better, because it's just been one thing after another. So I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about all the ways and the updates that I've been kind of like making myself human again, and we'll do all that. Okay, so the first thing, and yes, another shark t-shirt. For my anniversary, my second or third anniversary, I asked my husband, I don't want a lot of money spent. Let's just get each other just nice, cute little under $25, $30 gifts. He got me a bunch of shark t-shirts because I love it. That has nothing to do with the first thing I'm going to talk about, which is now, but I love my shark t-shirts. Okay, first thing, the bad news. I went to the doctor in January. My last video I posted was about my catalytic converter getting stolen and that I was going to go get checked for scarring in my uterus. And your girl has scarring in her uterus after that surgery, after that 21 week loss that I had. This is called Asherman syndrome. So what it is because my loss was so late, you can go watch those videos if you want. I talked all about it and the freaking trauma that came with it. They had to remove a much bigger fetus. And because of that, I believe there's more tools and such that are used. It ended up causing a minor amount of scarring in my uterus. It's not crazy. It's not super, super big, which I'm thankful for. My doctor said, this is not as bad as I've seen it. Basically, in order to find that out, they did a saline sonogram. And that meant I went into the office, they injected a little bit of saline into my uterus, which opened up, and they wanted to see if my uterus would open up all the way. As I was watching that saline go in, I did see that it was opening up, which was good, but there was a little bit of a sticking point, and she had to double check it a couple times to see if it was real in the first place, and it was. After 3 losses in 365 days, the last one being a second trimester loss, going in to get checked after my first period, which was lighter, so I did suspect this, and then seeing that, it was so hard for me. Even though she reassured me that she could fix it with the surgery. She can go in and just take the scar tissue out, put me on estrogen, build the lining back up, and everything would be fine. She said my case was super, super minor. It still was another complication. It still was another, like, you have a very low percentage of this happening. That happened to me. And I was just there like, for days, I'm just sitting with this going, am I gonna catch a break? Like, I know there's always somebody out there with a worse story. I get that. There's some people that can't even have kids, can't even get pregnant. I understand that. But everyone's journey, like, you have a right to feel how you feel in your own journey. And I just felt like, okay, what's next? What's next? So that was the bad news. She told me, we can get you surgery. We can, let's line that up in March. Let's line surgery up in March. Let's get you going on this. I'm like, okay. So they booked me a surgical date in March, and that way she can get my uterus cleaned up, get everything out of it, and be ready to go again. But the thing about Asherman's is she told me after every pregnancy, there is a probability and a chance that it could come back. The scar tissue could come back. So there was something to be said. I think the hardest part about this was I started this journey really healthy. With the first pregnancy, I gained a couple pounds. With the second pregnancy, I gained a few more pounds because that loss was at 7 weeks. And then with the last pregnancy, I gained more weight. And then I go in, and not only do I feel just absolutely beat to shit on the outside with all this weight on me for nothing, but now I'm being told that I'm straight up internally damaged. So through and through, like, my whole being just felt just beat up. I didn't feel like myself. I didn't look like myself. And then on the inside, I felt broken. I felt damaged. So there was no part of me that felt okay at all. Like my whole being at some point just felt horrible. And my hair was falling out too. Okay, so that was the bad news diagnosis that I got. Here's what I did. In order to feel some sense of control, more like myself, and to kind of regain my mental health back. Because of this diagnosis, we decided IVF is the way to go. We are going to just try to protect my uterus, because if we continue to have these losses and these issues, I might keep increasing that scar tissue, even though we can try natural, and that scar tissue increase can cause it to be more of a dangerous situation for me. And I've been through enough. I don't want to be gambling anymore at this point. So with IVF, we can do testing, we can look for the best embryos, and we can hopefully have less of a risk of me miscarrying and having these major issues down the line. I've talked more about the background on that. IVF is now on the table. My doctor said, now this is all my case, my doctor, my case, always talk to your own professional. She told me that it's best to get this surgery and then go straight into IVF. Well, there's a chance that my insurance will cover IVF in 6 months, a year. There's a really good chance that it will be fully covered. But if I were to do it right now, it'd be like $30,000 a cycle, and I'm not trying to do that. So first thing I did, I canceled the surgery. I said, you know what? I need a break. I need people to not touch me. I know that seems kind of like a weird thing to say, but when you've been going through fertility stuff, it is so invasive. Everyone is, in a good way, I mean, you have to do this, you're pregnant. But people are just doing this all day, taking your blood. You are making sure like your HCG is going up. Then you're going in, then they're inside you. They're checking you this, they're touching you here. And it's just like, it's so, like you can't have any boundaries really if you want to make sure that you're checked properly. And the last thing I wanted to do was go back into getting a surgery in March. I was done. November was the loss. It was barely out the gates that I found out about this, and I just did not want to be touched. So I canceled the surgery. I said, when I'm ready mentally to go into this and when I'm ready for IVF and all that, I will let you know. The next thing I did, and I actually did this in January, I started this process in January because I just didn't feel good. I hired back my old bodybuilding coach. I know I talked about it a little bit. I did compete in 2017. I didn't do well because I was all natural. I didn't take any of the stuff. Not that, okay, there's natural people that can do it really well too, but where I was competing, you do better if you take the stuff. So I hired back my coach and I said, I am 167 pounds. When I started my fertility journey in November 2023, I was 145 pounds. I said, I need help. I just need accountability. I trust you. He's not like a just eat meat and vegetables kind of guy. He's like, here are your calories, try to hit these macros, do really good foods and exercise. I just wanted the accountability. I wanted to turn my brain off. It was, for me, affordable every month to just have somebody supporting me, the accountability to just work on getting myself back to where I'm walking around and I'm feeling good. Because like I said, now I feel externally like shit and internally like shit. So I didn't want to feel that anymore. So I hired him back in January. And thankfully, I have actually lost 10 pounds January 7th to right now, April 16th? April 16th, I've lost 10 pounds. I'll show you a couple of my pictures here. I feel so much better. I feel like I have regained some form of control. If that is not your cup of tea, if you're going through postpartum or whatever it is, and you feel like that's the last thing you need to care about, it's true. Do whatever you need to do to feel good in your skin. Like, this body went through a lot. I went through a lot of trauma. I just did not feel good. Now, if somebody else is going through similar and their thing is that's the last thing on my mind. I don't care about my physique. I want to just go to therapy and take care of my mental health. Do that. Do whatever makes you feel good. For me, I feel better when I'm smaller and when I'm like moving well in the gym and when I'm exercising, and that makes me feel fantastic. So that gave me something to focus on. It shifted myself and my goals somewhere else. It took me out of the fertility obsession, because it starts to become an obsession. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you're in this, it's like the only thing you're thinking about. And it gave me a different like checkpoint. It gave me a different drive, and it worked. I felt so better. So better. So much better. Then I decided to set up boundaries. I stopped talking about it with my family, like even my mom. I was just like, I don't want to talk about it. If it was very rare, it would come up occasionally, but I really tried to talk about other things. I tried to just focus on how life was before this journey. It exists. Like, you can actually find things that are fun and distracting. I just tried to enjoy life a bit more, had some wine, just enjoyed, I even stopped taking my vitamins. I was just like, go away. I don't even want the fertility vitamins. I don't want anything. I just want to live and work out and eat healthy and not talk about this. So that was big. Just making it not my constant talking point took that pressure off me. It just pulled it back. So I'm canceling surgeries, I'm exercising, and I'm saying, don't talk to me about this. I'm not interested. I quit. And lastly, I'm sure there were other things that I did, but this one's actually pretty cool. Instead of continuing to put all this money into, my prenatal vitamins and my CoQ10 and my fish oil and all these doctor's appointments. And all like the healthiest skincare I could buy, because I wanted to make sure there was no toxic load on myself. Just like all the crazy stuff. Just always making sure everything was like as perfect as possible. We backed off of that, and we just put all of our focus and our finances into paying down our debt. Like, we didn't have that much, which thankfully, but now we're good. We just put all the money to where we can save more and we can build our financial goals. Kept my car from 2007. I'm still like driving that thing until it drops, just so I don't have to have a car payment. And we just took our fertility budget and put it into building up and making sure that we're financially stable. And that felt great, because I kept saying to him, I feel like this fertility journey is running our lives. And it was. Everything we had was going into it. And when we put the hard brakes on it and just pivoted towards everything else, man, we are in a much better place. And now I actually am starting to feel better talking about fertility again, and maybe saving up a little bit more money for that, because I put the hard brakes on the obsession. Those are pretty much the updates. I feel so much better. I just feel I've accepted my diagnosis, and I've accepted that we are going to do the IVF when it makes financial sense, and hopefully soon. I mean, if it doesn't shake out by next year, if our insurance doesn't end up covering it, then yeah, we'll have to pay for it. But at least right now we can save for it. We're not just going to go into debt to go into debt. I'm still 36. Next year I'll be 37. Not ideal, but I did start trying at 34, at least like A for effort, right? And if anything, this has taught me that fertility is not linear for most people. For some, yeah, they just like have their kids and then everything's wonderful. Actually, I'm really happy. If you haven't struggled, I am really happy for you. I wish this on no one. This is not fun. This is very hard mentally, very hard physically. It is not something I wish on any woman at all. So if you just are able to have kids without miscarriages or any complications, I'm so happy for you. Please do not take that for granted, or do. Like, just live your life. Just live your life. But I'm doing better. You can probably tell just with my demeanor that I'm me again. And taking that break and just coming back to myself made all the difference in the world. And I feel great. So yeah, cool. How do I end these? It's done. Goodbye.